Hello and welcome back to Things They Forgot to Teach You in Business School. I'm your host, Scott Rosen, Managing Director of SRCC Impera GmbH, and this video will show you how to create a startup pitch deck. Today's program is designed to help entrepreneurs and startups assemble a viable presentation for their concepts and ideas when requesting seed capital or secondary financing. The information is based on 20 plus years of experience in the finance world and is the direct result of listening to what the family offices, venture capital institutions, and business angels have asked to be clarified when meeting with startups seeking seed funding or another financing round. First, the basics. Every startup is in the industry of being rejected. It's as much a part of life as is breathing. Get used to hearing the word no because you will fight tooth and nail just to land a meeting, then have it rescheduled multiple times, only to hear them tell you no thank you when you finally get there. Sometimes it can happen even before you walk into the door. Take it as a grain of salt and as a badge of honor. If you've been rejected, it means you've taken a larger step into the startup world. It means that someone has challenged your ideas, and that's a good thing. This is a list of everything that we suggest should be included in your startup pitch deck. Take a moment to pause this video and write them down. Although much of it seems very obvious or basic, you'd be surprised how often these details are not included in a teaser because many entrepreneurs think that they will speak to them during their presentation. The problem with that practice is that it leaves the investors to fill in the blanks later on when they review your request, and it requires them to remember everything you've said. This will most likely not happen because things get missed during the meeting and because most startup presentations last less than 20 minutes, meaning there's only so much time to ask questions. The tip is that if you have a deck with most of the information already included, it gives the investors something to reference during their diligence round. Think of this as a summary for your entire startup. All the pertinent items need to go inside so that the decision makers have what they actually need to make their minds up if they want to help you or not. This list of items should address a bulk of their concerns and at least help you land a second meeting to discuss next steps. One more thing. Please make sure your deck is kept to an everyman level. Most of the decision makers in your audience will not understand industry jargon, complex terms, or technical references. Keep this idea in mind when you are up there presenting as well. It can make or break your pitch when the time comes. All of your contact information about you and the company should be included in the deck on one page either at the beginning or end of your presentation. This should have names, titles, email addresses, office locations, and telephone numbers for quick reference. VAT and tax ID numbers can also be included. Another tip is to have the speaker's full name on the bottom of the slide of the deck you are presenting with, as to enable the investors to remember the names of those they are meeting with and prevent any embarrassment from having to ask your name again. These names should be removed from the deck if it is being emailed out. Being vague kills any startup pitch. Any information that you provide in your deck has to be direct, to the point, and backed up by concrete data and references. This is especially true when discussing your customer base, your opportunity pipeline, and your financials. Be specific towards who your customers are and who they are going to be. The managers you meet with will know if you're being too generic. Name your customers by age group, region they live in, company they work for, or whatever specific demographic you plan to or are already reaching. It is vital to be as specific as possible so that your audience is absolutely clear towards who you're going after and that your idea is not just pie in the sky. There is a tremendous difference between stating that you have an online banking app for people to use on their phones versus 18 to 25-year-olds who only use online banking to pay their bills in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy. See the difference in narrowing the customer base and the demographics? Use your business canvas to focus in on what specific problems you will be solving for what specific groups of people. This will enable the decision makers in your audience to draw conclusions about your idea and your company. If necessary, quickly walk them through every step of your canvas. If you're on point, this should take you no more than 3 or 4 minutes to do so. Take the time to illustrate which problems you will be fixing for which specific customers. Be direct and clarify the pain you are relieving with which product. Explain exactly how you are doing so, being sure to differentiate between what a specific customer wants versus what they need. You need to make your minimum viable product or MVP absolutely clear. This will go a long way towards educating the decision makers and determining exactly what you do is. If this is your first time asking for funds, then please put a fine point on how much you've already invested in your idea, what your expected revenues and expenses will be, and how much you really need to get things moving. It is highly important that you not be vague here. Take the time and do some research towards what your costs and revenues currently are and will actually look like. Don't just estimate them. If you're seeking another round of financing, then you should have your previously audited financials on hand to be distributed to an investor at their request. They can be summarized in the presentation, and your projections should be realistically based on your actual revenues. This helps to eliminate vagueness and should enable both parties to set manageable expectations for what to anticipate in the future. With regard to valuation, please make sure it's realistic. If you have not yet established proof of concept or a working prototype, then say so. Be pragmatic. These will weaken your valuation estimates, but show that you're at least trying to be realistic. One of the bigger mistakes many startups forget to include is how much they are asking for and on what terms. Be very specific here with the amount and what you are offering in return. Is it a loan, equity, a grant? Will it be collateralized with your own assets or will you offer a personal guarantee? Name your terms, and if you haven't made a concrete decision, suggest that you're open to negotiation. Don't go in there with a devil may care attitude. Have an idea of how much the company's equity you are willing to part with or how much interest you are willing to pay in order to get the resources that you need. Put your time frame down on paper, but leave the revenue chart out. This will eliminate showing a terrible hockey stick chart and enable the teaser to tell the past, present, and future story of your company. Be direct by listing exactly what your plans are for the next 24 months, and make sure you list in excruciating detail your action plan for the next 6 months. Keep this up to date as you go along so that your deck is kept current with the most recent information. If there is nothing else that you remember from this video, please let it be this. Your deck should directly answer the two questions of why a customer should come to your company and why an investor should invest their money with you. Many startups fail before they even walk into an investor meeting because they do not acknowledge these two items. If you cannot tell a decision maker where your first, next, and future customers are going to come from, then you need to sit down and spend some serious time deciding how you are planning to stay in business. And if you're unable to give a very specific answer to what the investor is going to get for their money, then you've failed in your pitch. This is called the WIFM, or the what's in it for me. Think very carefully about how you are going to approach and answer this question before it comes up, because it will make or break you getting funding for your startup. That's all for this video. We hope you learned a few things to help you establish your new deck and gained some insight to help you make your next pitch a little bit more successful. Remember, rejection is going to happen, so don't take it personally. It may take a while before you find the right fit with an investor. Also, we understand that there are several schools of thought on this subject, and we encourage you to participate by sharing your ideas in the comments below. We're grateful to learn about what you think should be included or omitted, so if you have the time, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks again for tuning in. Help us out by giving us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on how to make a better presentation. If you liked what you saw, feel free to share us and help spread the word. If you would like to set up a private consultation with your startup or your university, please let us know by email. We offer several online courses to help you and your staff develop their presentation strategies. Best of luck with your next project, and as always, we'll see you next time.